Welcome to the Print Political Adda. I am Saurav Rai Burman. Now, in this episode, we are taking up an issue which has featured in previous episodes of the Political Adda. This recurring tussle between Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his deputy D.K. Shivakumar, and on the question of who will be the Chief Minister of Karnataka. And now this battle has been really playing out ever since the Congress came to power in Karnataka in 2023. Now there has been a fresh flare up over the past few days. In fact, yesterday, CM Siddaramaiah publicly acknowledged that there is confusion in the party and the High Command should really intervene and settle the matter. And to discuss it all, I've been joined by our resident Karnataka expert, my colleague in Bangalore, Sharan Puvanna, and we're very glad to have been joined by senior journalist, columnist, and author Sugata Srinivasraju. Welcome. Mr. Raju, I'll come to you first. I just mentioned how this dispute between the two leaders have been playing out for far too long now. So, where do you think this is headed at this moment?
It's a very interesting question. Nobody really knows where it is headed because you see the tussle being played out. Initially, they tried to say that there is no tussle, and then they mildly admitted to a tussle, and now they are fully admitting that there is a problem and it has to be sorted out by no less than the High Command. So there are two things being suggested or speculated rather. One is the chief minister will change. The chief minister will have to go and somebody else has to come in the place of Mr. Siddaramaiah. And the second thing is a midway solution where they are suggesting that there should be a cabinet reshuffle. So it's very apparent as to who is suggesting what. The second solution is obviously being suggested by Siddaramaiah and team because they just think that the whole problem could be handled by doing a cabinet reshuffle. And the first solution of the leadership change obviously is coming from Mr. D.K. Shivakumar's camp, although it has to be clarified, D.K. not once has ever said that the chief minister has to be changed and he is a claimant. There are others who are saying that if there is going to be a chief ministerial, change, and if the chief minister is going to be changed, we are claimants. But DK has been playing very clever. He's been rather, mature and patient, and not saying that he's a claimant, and he has never made that claim ever so far. He may have made it privately, but I think publicly he is trying to play along with I don't know who, because I think something is being signaled to him by the High Command, and we don't know who that High Command is. I don't think Rahul Gandhi is signaling anything at all. I don't think Sonia Gandhi is directly involved. He met Mallikarjun Kharge even yesterday and the day before yesterday, and I don't know what Kharge is suggesting, because I don't know if Kharge really has the mandate to suggest anything, because the joke in Bangalore is Kharge keeps saying that the High Command will take the decision, while he forgets that he himself is the AICC president. So it's a quite a kind of a scenario, and these are not uncommon kind of scenes. Each time Karnataka has seen a regime change or government go and a new government come or a government collapse, I think it builds up slowly like this. It catches momentum and suddenly it takes a turn. So we don't know how this is going to go. So I don't have a clear answer to the question that you asked.
You said DK has been playing really smart on this issue, and he has not really made any claim publicly and laid claim on the CM's chair. But it seems there are others who are speaking on his behalf every now and then.
Yeah, see, the others speaking on his behalf have also been silenced by him. He has been telling those people to just, keep quiet or be patient or shut up. So that he has not allowed his cronies or his followers to, sully the pitch. But
Right.
when I said the others are making claims, for instance, Parameshwar has been asserting his claim over the chair a couple of times. He has already done it a couple of times. Then there is Satish Jarkiholi, who is an ST, a Valmiki leader, who's also been making claims. So the
Hmm.
speculation is that Siddaramaiah is reluctant to hand it over to DK, if at all, if push comes to shove.
Hmm.
People have been saying that the CM's chair is not vacant and all that. That's Siddaramaiah's team saying. But if push comes to shove, he must have put a condition that I'll hand it over to a Dalit. And
Hmm.
these two, Parameshwar and Satish Jarkirli, who respectively belong to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe communities, I think they're posturing themselves and making life difficult for DK and prolonging the game of Siddaramaiah. So
Hmm.
that is how I look at it.
Right.
So, do you think, getting to the main part of this question, do you think that DK Shivkumar actually has a legitimate claim to become the chief minister? Because 2 years ago, he claimed that the party won its historic mandate because he was at the helm. But I mean, that time is over. I mean, that was 2023. Now, 2 years on, do you think he still has a claim? Does he have the track record? Has he made such an impact that he can actually now claim to replace Siddaramaiah right now, sir?
See, legitimacy wise, he has been the president of the Congress party and he has been a senior leader of the Congress party. He has been there for the longest period. He has not defected at any point of time. He has not joined any other political party. So he claims, I think he even released a book recently where he had been described, or I think he had sponsored that book where he has been described as the ultimate loyalist to the Congress party. And then he has held the whole party together in very difficult times. So he has been the fund manager, not just within Karnataka, but I think he has also helped the central high command to sort of hold itself together after Modi came, before Modi came, during Vajpayee's era when the Congress was had a very uncertain kind of situation. And I think he is making a claim on that basis, that I have been a loyalist, I have been in the party for the longest period, I have managed very difficult situations, I have saved governments, I have ensured that elections are won. Because he seems to claim that he has been some kind of a person who has been able to manage the election victories now and then. I mean, it could be through money, it could be through muzzle, whatever it is. You can't just go deep into it because you never know what he would have done at that point of time. So if you ask me, is it a legitimate claim? I think it's a legitimate claim. He was the party's president at that point, and even then in 2023, when I was on national television speaking about the election victory, I said DK has a perfect chance this time, and he also belongs to the majority community, one of the big communities, the Okaliga influential communities. So he has claim wise, I think he is perfectly in place. But then the question is, in a democracy or in a parliamentary democracy, is how many MLAs are really backing you to be the chief minister of the state. See, finally, it's the number game. And comparatively speaking, Siddaramaiah enjoys both a greater credibility and a greater reach among the masses. There is no doubt about that. He has already been chief minister in the past, and I don't know if you remember this. The first time Siddaramaiah became chief minister, DK was not even inducted to the cabinet for the first few months or a year because
Correct, yes.
they didn't want a taint to be associated with a new government that had come into place and all that. So Siddaramaiah and DK's, the history between the two goes back quite some time. But then, of course, a lot of things, a lot of water has flown under the bridge. A lot of Kaveri water has flown. So we don't know how DK made himself amiable and useful to the High Command, especially in the times of Modi. And if you remember that Rajya Sabha election of Ahmad Patel,
Yeah.
unfortunately Ahmad Patel is not around, and I think he had also, made himself useful to Ahmad Patel by ensuring his Rajya Sabha victory as well. So that he is probably trying to claim a lot of I mean, a kind. I mean, it's. I've done this for the party. Why don't you now make me the chief minister? And the 23 elections. Also, let's be very fair. He had spent a lot of money. He had organized the party extremely well, and he had really worked hard. So, if he makes the claim, I don't think it can be dismissed so easily. And the other last point is that there is, I mean, a kind of language that is being spoken that in May 2023 or June 2023, when Siddaramaiah, you know that Siddaramaiah and DK were at loggerheads at that point, and nobody wanted to give up being the chief minister at that point, and then DK had quietly receded and allowed Siddaramaiah to be the chief minister. And at that point, they say that it is there was an agreement. So this agreement part of it has not been spoken about. Yesterday, though, DK has hinted for the very first time that five people in the party, five top people in the party, which would obviously, we can guess who the three are. One would be Kharge, two would be Sonia Gandhi, three would be Rahul, and the fourth would be Siddaramaiah, and the fifth would be himself. So he said it's an agreement between five top people in the party. It's a very confidential thing, and I won't speak about it. So it's an
Hmm.
indirect way of saying that there is indeed an agreement. And the agreement was, if you recall, was forced on him then in 2023 by Sonia Gandhi. The default understanding also is that Rahul Gandhi is on Siddaramaiah's side. Rahul
Hmm.
Gandhi has made his preferences clear. Here is what I learn. And this is not now. Even when Siddaramaiah was chief minister the first time, between 2013 and 2018, they had sort of gelled well. So I think Siddaramaiah sees, I mean, Rahul Gandhi sees Siddaramaiah as a more stable and a more compact hand than DK. But I don't think Rahul Gandhi himself is in a position to make any such judgment because he is not someone who has delivered victories to the party. So
So
that
you
is also,
think
yeah.
you think Rahul Gandhi also sides with Siddaramaiah because this also aligns the kind of politics that Siddaramaiah endorses or embodies, that also
Yes.
aligns with Rahul's own social justice pitch.
Exactly. Yeah. See, before Rahul Gandhi became a convert into the social justice pitch, see, Rahul Gandhi, you should know, arrived very late into the Mandal agenda. It was only after the, I mean, around 22, after the Padyatra, even during the Padyatra, he was trying to do universal messaging of love, mohabbat ki dukan,
Yes.
hate, and things like that. It's only after 2023, suddenly he jumped on the Mandal agenda when the Mandal bus had moved. In fact, if you look at Bihar elections, one of the arguments that I've been making, looking at how the gender quotient has played out, with 50% of the electorate, I mean, playing a certain kind of a game, and only the rest, I mean, trying to, align themselves on caste basis. I mean, I've been arguing that the way we know, the way we have been looking at Indian politics may have changed because the Mandal way of doing politics, the hardcore Mandal way, I'm not saying caste is gone. The caste identity bit as an organizing element will always remain. That will never go away. But the Mandal kind of dynamics that had propelled Indian politics may have ended. May. I mean, I'm still not, sticking my neck out and saying it has ended. But it may have ended because you saw Yadav women vote very differently from Yadav men. You saw Muslim women vote very differently from Muslim men. Look at a Malla or a Paswan, it's the same case across
Right.
Bihar. So that agenda or that Rahul Gandhi arrived at came to it very, very late. And
Hmm.
of course, Siddaramaiah has been representing that agenda in Karnataka. But if that is really the case, then why is Siddaramaiah sitting over the caste census, which was cleared, which was resubmitted, which was redone, and then again reordered? All kinds of confusion has been created around that. So yes, he sees. The short answer is yes, he sees Siddaramaiah as an extension of his newfound love, But
Right.
that newfound love itself may be in some kind of jeopardy, because that may not be the thing on which Indian politics runs anymore, or
Mm.
may not fully run anymore. So yes, yeah, that is true. That is true. And
So,
even the first term of Siddaramaiah, I have when I was still actively editing newspapers and reporting and all that, I have seen this kind of dynamic, emerge between Siddaramaiah and Rahul Gandhi. I don't
Mm.
think Sonia Gandhi has been, has openly made her choices known. She's a very smart player, far
Mm.
more shrewder than the son. But the son is, I think he makes his choices known, and he's quite
Yeah.
brash and straight about it. So I think the two have gotten along well, and not so much DK.
Mm.
so, in one of the points you just mentioned is that D.K. Shivkumar comes from a dominant community, which perhaps may not go with what Rahul Gandhi is, as you describe it, his newfound love for social justice is. Now, in Karnataka, will that be a problem for a Rahul Gandhi, even if the High Command does at some point decide to replace Ramaya, an OBC, a champion of, I mean, who projects himself as a champion of backward classes, with a Vocaliga whose dominance Siddaramaiah has challenged as well as the OBCs have challenged for a long time.
See, I think the buster, see, the whole thing is being discussed on, again, you're solely focusing on how the castes may move. But I think the whole caste equation in Karnataka has been disrupted in the last 1 year. The Lingayats are not wholly behind the BJP anymore, because the Lingayat vote base itself has splintered. The largest community subsect within the Lingayats have sort of expressed a great deal of resentment with the way the BJP has, looked at them, or even other political parties have looked at them. And so their assertion has become very real. So the Lingayats are not together as they were, in the past, as a block, solid block. And even there is, even within the Lingayats, there is an awareness that for all of Karnataka's, the legislative history of Karnataka, it is a tiny subsect of the Lingayats, which is the Banajigas, I mean the Banajigas, have had a greater share of power than the Pancham Salis, who constitute, they say, 60-65. We have to look at the caste numbers again when it comes out. They constitute more than 60-65%. So similar logic gets applied to the Dalits, because there again, there is a disruption. The right and left Dalits, the Madiga, the Holeyas, the Madigas being unhappy that they are being less represented, so they have moved. They were voting with the BJP. So now we don't know what that block does not look like. It is a single big block, right?
Mm.
Similarly, if you look at, so Dalit is gone. I've spoken to you about Lingayats. Now come to the OBCs. See, OBC communities, uh, even the Okaligas are designated as OBCs in Karnataka. So there is no, they also have certain reservation, slightly lesser perhaps, but then everybody, 95% of the communities in Karnataka have reservation. That's the reality. So, so when it comes to backward classes, there are 100 or odd communities, right? Over 100. I mean, the last list of the Backward Classes Commission had 102 castes or 103 OBC castes. Not all of them are recognized as OBC by the Central OBC Commission. That's a separate thing. That's a separate, whole game. But even there, the 15% reservation that was being given to OBCs was entirely cornered, or mostly cornered, by the Kurba community that Siddaramaiah represented. So there is a great deal of resentment even among OBCs that Kurubas have walked away with all the reservation. Then if you leave out OBCs, then the other community which seems to have had a dominant political capital is the Edigas, which is Dr. Rajkumar's community. Or if you go towards Dakshin Kannada, it would be Hari Prasad's community, right? BK Hari Prasad, the Congress leader's community. So the Edigas, the traditionally toddy tapping community, and the Kurubas, the shepherds, have seemed to have cornered both resources and also political power within the backward classes. Now, where does this leave Siddaramaya's support? So Siddaramaiah, this is my interpretation. I may be wrong, but
Hmm.
I feel that the 20-year-old branding of Siddaramaiah, or the 10-year-old branding, or even the 5-year-old branding of Siddaramaiah is being shoved down. Now saying that he still commands that kind of a clout in all these communities, that is the Ahinda communities.
Yeah.
But you have witnessed in the last 3 years the number of agitations of these communities, the number of these Swamijis sitting on protests, number of those politicians asking for greater representation. Why do you think these whole caste census became such a controversial thing? So I don't think Siddaramaya's vote base has remains homogeneous, flat, monolithic, and remains the same. So somewhere somebody is very smartly reading into it. So it won't make a great difference. Whoever becomes the chief minister, and also you should also factor in another thing. In the last 2.5 years, the Congress administration has not been popular. The administration of the Congress government, probably because of the guarantees where the money people say got drained, there has been no disposable kind of money available, with the revenues available with the government to say handle road infrastructure project, or they have cut down on traditional welfare budgets of, say, the
Hmm.
education department, the rural welfare department, or the irrigation department. They've all, if you look at the previous budget, you see all of them being trimmed, so that the guarantees run, the 5 or 6 guarantees run unhindered. And even there, the disbursement of those guarantees have not seen 100% success. So there is also the liability that Siddaramaiah has created for his government and the Congress party of his 2.5 years administration, plus the other factors that I spoke to you about, which is the caste factors. We don't know which community stays where, because there is a lot of disruption. So how can you assume that the Ahinda as a community, as a block, as a voting block, it has never been a homogeneous voting block or a monolithic voting block. The numbers are very clear. If that was the case, Siddaramaiah should have got 70% vote share. That did not happen, right? BJP and Congress came to the, around 38, 39% or 40%. They remain there.
So
So,
basically,
and, yeah, this is a kind of branding and marketing, political
right.
marketing that is happening. So I don't think that works in real politics or real
To
life.
summarize what you just said, it seems that the perception that Siddaramaiah is indispensable for the Congress party is not really true. It may not be true. And in that context, what do you make of the approach of the Congress High Command, the way it has really dragged its feet since 2020, since the very beginning, on this very question? How it
Yeah,
has really not
yeah.
been able to settle this question? Yeah.
No, I for one don't believe that anybody is indispensable, because such arguments have been made in the past and they've fallen flat. If Siddaramaiah was indispensable, why did he lose so badly in 2018? He had pursued the same kind of agenda. See, in
Yeah.
2018, his situation was so pathetic that he lost Chamundeshwari by a huge margin, and in Badami, where he won, you know, and that Badami seat, the Nota votes were greater than his victory margin. And recently, CM Ibrahim made a statement. He said we had to buy votes to ensure that he wins Badami. Nobody has gone deeper into it. Even the opposition did not take it up seriously, probably because CM Ibrahim is a greatly discredited character. But it came up during the vote chori, debates were happening in Karnataka, that Siddaramaiah's own seat in Badami in 2018 had to be secured by arranging for funds. He said nothing less than that. So those questions remain. Uh, uh, but this thing, the Congress High Command, what is it up to? Only Congress High Command knows. Because if they were smart and nimble-footed and had a strategy in place, you wouldn't see that the Congress party's numbers dwindle like that nationally. See, the mistake that they have made, the Congress party thought that the 2024 numbers that they got of 100 belonged entirely to them. No, it was the generosity of its allies in Uttar Pradesh or elsewhere in Tamil Nadu, or which they were sort of imparting numbers to the Congress party. So the Congress party started believing that it was on the rebound, and it was on. I mean, if they thought they were on a rebound, they had to consolidate it, but they got into ideological arguments, and ideological arguments create a certain kind of blinkered vision. It creates a certain kind of staccato responses to everything. Whatever the reality, you would only choose to speak through your ideological language. So that doesn't help politics at all. So Bihar was lost, Maharashtra was lost, Haryana was lost, and now they start speaking the language of Yogendra Yadav and Yechuri saying this is wrong, that is wrong, this is ethically wrong. That so the moment a political party starts making those excuses, then you are in serious trouble. Because that's not how you take things under control. So in given this scenario, now tell me, how can they solve Karnataka? My guess is that
Hmm.
if they remove Siddaramaiah, I don't. He's loyal only to himself. Is my reading of his political game right since he came into politics. So if he walks away with his 30 MLAs, or say 40 or 35, then
Hmm.
out of the 135, you need 113 to form a government. So he is creating a crisis. Or if he keeps
Yes.
them under him, if DK manages to get 30, he's okay. He's also creating a crisis. Do you get my
Hmm.
point? So,
Yes.
so the Congress party will have to now, just because it's a number game. Finally, nothing
Hmm.
else decides the game.
Absolutely.
So if the Congress party has to ensure that Siddaramaiah does not walk away with his 30 or 35, imaginary number again, nobody knows who is where, and then again, if DK assume, no, they say DK does not have more than 5 MLAs. I don't
Hmm.
believe that. At least say even 20. It to that extent, or 20, 25, or even 30, that jeopardizes the stability of the government. And he is also capable of extra constitutional games, as we have seen what he has been promoting in Hassan or elsewhere. So we don't know the games. So anything that the Congress party does, it's not a win-win situation, it's a lose-lose kind of a situation. So there are if you look at the silence of the BJP, it's quite astonishing. Nobody is speaking anything, they just want them to shoot themselves down. And also, Siddaramaiah is also vulnerable because the Muda case is not entirely over as people believe. So,
Hmm.
who is to decide on Muda? Is it Amit Shah and Modi, or the central agencies, or whatever? So, we don't know who is, quietly or tacitly, trying to save themselves. So if
Hmm.
DK also overshoots his game, his cases are also alive and kicking. So we don't know. So there is a lot of liability and
So you just mentioned the BJP. Is the Congress, with all of its problems and perceived stagnation in administration and policy, are they sort of getting a free run because the opposition themselves are in disarray and haven't been able to corner the government as effectively as they probably could have?
yeah, I mean that is true to an extent. The BJP after Yediyurappa is in a kind of a disarray. See, Vijayendra has not even been confirmed as a president. So there are only, I think, two or three such presidents, state presidents, who have not been confirmed, and he is one of them. And he has not been confirmed, not because they don't like him, they made him the president. He has not been confirmed because the moment he was made the president, the party saw a lot of dissensions. And even Yatnal had to even be expelled from the party for questioning the Yediyurappa family. So they are on the back foot, certainly. But NDA as a unit is not on the back foot. NDA on the NDA as a unit has a leadership in Kumaraswamy. And I think Modi and Shah realize the kind of potential of Kumaraswamy, who has been two-time chief minister. And if you look at BJP leadership, current leadership, everybody is far junior to Kumaraswamy. So if you read the statements made by Mr. Devegowda on the 25th year of the party 2 days back, he said Nitish Kumar in Bihar, Kumaraswamy in
Kumaraswamy.
Karnataka. So
Hmm.
NDA looks very different. BJP looks different. So I
Hmm.
mean, I think, but let me be also very clear about this. BJP always looks like that. But since they have a very strong high command, they'll put things in place quickly. They won't pull up,
Hmm.
I mean, they won't drag their leg like the Congress does. So there is a system there, and that silence is also perhaps strategic.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I want to
So
really briefly bring you back to Mallikarjun Kharge, very, very briefly. Now, he's a really wily and experienced politician. Now, every time he makes this comment that let the high command take a call, let the high command take a call. And he knows it very well that he's himself the high command. He knows that he's going to invite some amount of ridicule for his remark. But do you think, in some sense, he knows what he's saying? His statements are also calculated.
that's a very good question. You know why? I wrote a piece speaking about the politics of Karge for the last 50 years when he completed 50 years in politics, or they were saying all that. See, Karge did not come from a Dalit movement, right? He was handpicked by Devraj Aras. So he has always been a quota Dalit. He has not been that activist Dalit who has gone and mobilized the crowds, created a constituency for himself among the Dalit community. He has never done that. He has waited for the quota thing to be assigned to him always. So that has been his leadership style, whether good or bad. He has attached his bogie, his Dalit bogie, to the Congress party. And whenever Congress party has felt that it has to, make this, accommodate a Dalit or whatever, he has been the most, I mean, I mean, say, I mean, he's been easily been co-opted into the scheme of the Congress party. So I wouldn't say appropriated, but co-opted into this Congress scheme, and therefore he is never. If you come to Karnataka, I mean, he is not seen as a mass Dalit leader. See, otherwise there should have been some 100 demonstrations in 2013 when he was not made chief minister, or 2004 when Dharam Singh became chief minister, or now at least people saying, please make him chief minister. He's a great Dalit leader. So he has never had such claims, and he is also someone who belongs to the right of the Dalit. The whole churning is in the left of the Dalits, that is the Madigas. He is not a Madiga. So he is very happy when you and I, as journalists, tell him, "Sir, you are saying high command will decide. Are you not the high command?" He. I don't think he's the kind who will feel embarrassed. He'll feel very happy inside that that would be a box that the high command, he would be ticking that box, where he would think that Sonia Gandhi is very happy, or Rahul Gandhi is very happy that he's ceding his authority to them. He's not even considering himself as part of that high command, which he is, which he should legitimately be. So the nominal position that has been given to him. So would he have won the elections of the president had the Gandhis not backed him? So he's very practical. He's very pragmatic about it. And even in parliament, when he was answering a question once, he looked at Sonia Gandhi. He said, "Whoever has given me anything is sitting here. You didn't give me anything." I don't think a leader of his stature, if he had a mass kind of a backing, would have spoken like that. I mean, I'll take a bet. Siddaramaiah will never speak like that because there is pride and ego. He has cultivated a mass for himself. He will never say, Deve Gowda gave me anything, although Deve Gowda made him everything. Right? Deve Gowda himself will not say that. He may have had a lot of, I mean, benefactors, but he will not say that. He'll say, I worked hard and I made it. It's like the, I mean, Protestant work ethic, trying to say that I made it on my own. Kharge can never say that, right? So Yediyurappa again, Yediyurappa in his peak, did not need a Vajpayee or a Advani to campaign for the BJP in Karnataka because he was sufficient, right?
mm, mm,
So can a Kharge claim that? In 2008, let me tell you this, 2008, Kharge was the KPCC president. He was contesting and Yediyurappa was on the other side. The number of seats, Dalit seats, reserved Dalit seats that went to BJP was higher than the Congress. And you had a Dalit president.
mm,
Now, that tells you something, right? Forget the recent ones. I'm telling you, this has been where he is. And he's not the kind who will go and protest, saying, I will resign from the party if you don't make me this or that or whatever.
mm,
He is, they also know that he will not go beyond a point. He'll only probably negotiate a deputy chief minister's post for his son at best, or ask for another portfolio. If DK becomes CM, assume DK becomes CM, or somebody else becomes CM. If he's a non-Dalit CM, there is always that provision for his son to become a Dalit deputy CM under the quota. You
mm.
right. So my gut feeling is the Karnataka will not see a Dalit chief minister. If at all it should be a Dalit chief minister, then it should be Kharge himself.
But
And some,
huh,
but you may say he is an AICC president. How can you allow it? But go back in history. What was Neelam Sanjeev Reddy? He was both AICC president and chief minister of Andhra Pradesh. There is
mm,
precedence. If you want to do it, you can do it. Or they may ask him to resign there. Anyway, he is only Rahul Gandhi's or Sonia Gandhi's rubber stamp. It's made out to be that way. So, anyway, he's not making an impact there. So, if at all it's a Dalit chief minister, it should be him. Or it will be somebody else where the Dalit quota remains, vacant and the son is pushed up. See,
mm.
becoming a deputy CM is easier and wouldn't be challenged because it's not constitutionally mandated, but it gives you a certain kind of play in the public sphere.
Essentially he's
So,
playing it part. He's acquit, I mean he's conscious of his limitations as a politician. And I remember even when he took over as the Congress president in 2022, he didn't really emphasize or harp on his Dalit identity. He used to say he has never really practiced or brandished his identity during his long career. He used to say that very often.
Yes. And
Yeah,
also he has also brought in another identity there, which is because we are in an India where all this gets discussed every day. He's also been a Buddhist.
yeah.
So which identity of yours will you assert? Is it your Buddhist identity, or is it your Dalit identity, or your Ambedkarite kind of, constitutional position? What is it?
Yes.
so does that then help a Priyank Kharge right now, who is, being one of the leading voices taking on the RSS again, which aligns so closely with what Rahul Gandhi is saying? I mean, is this all posturing for the same end, sir?
I think I wrote about it. When he spoke about the RSS, I think he was clearly posturing because it suits the Rahul Gandhi's ideological agenda, but it does not help the Congress in Karnataka or elsewhere. Because those are cultural arguments that you best avoid because you don't have a cultural argument. So if you provoke the RSS to go in a certain direction, to counter you on certain in a certain direction, and if they try to polarize you, see, the upper castes even within the Congress are very uncomfortable speaking the anti-Hindutva thing. They may be in the Congress party, but they don't want their constituencies to see a certain kind of polarization, because if that happens, then it becomes like some other state like Gujarat or wherever, that no Muslim can win or no congressman will stand a chance. So every politician worth his salt would be protecting that 2 or 3% which has swung in his favor for him to become a MLA. So if you look at the margins of victory in the last assembly, let us go by data. What is the margin that all of these fellows secured? Say because of polarization that 5,000 or 3,000 or 2,000 goes away, their chance of becoming an MLA again recedes. So why provoke something which, in a very sad way, will keep pushing you towards a kind of polarized battle. So I think he played that
So
game only for this, larger thing where he's a Dalit, he has no stake. He goes into a reserved thing, right? But now that also is a problem because Dalits are not going to vote on the Ambedkar agenda alone. If that was the case, then 100% they would have been on the other side. That is not the case. But so even in his own constituency, Chitapur, it'll the battle is the next battle is going to be very, very interesting to watch.
So coming back now to the leadership issue in Karnataka, Karnataka's history, since I think two or three people only have completed 5 full terms, a whole term in office. Only 3 people have out of 23 who've taken office. But this time around, do you think that this is probably the most dignified way that a CM's chair is being contested, with Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar, everyone playing a very, very subtle role, as opposed to how it was seen in the past? Be it a Virendra Patil, be it Deve Gowda versus Ramkrishna Hegde. Do you think this is one of the most dignified battles for leadership here, sir?
I mean, I think you are jumping the gun because it's just begun. So we don't know if it's dignified or if it's the worst. So probably we should come back to this question 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later and see if it still remained dignified. It could be the worst. Actually, Karnataka's political culture, even when there were claimants and counter claimants, was not as worse as it is today. Today it is pen drives and other things that settle politics in Karnataka. Money settles politics in Karnataka. Devaraja's time or Hegde's time or Devegowda's time, that was not the case, or Nijlingappa's time, that was not the case. The deterioration you see after the rise of, after Karnataka's Bangalore saw money and the real estate guys took control of politics, or the miners took control of politics. Just go and look at the Association of Democratic Reforms data, ADR, on millionaire MLAs, who is into what profession, who has studied how much. That tells you an entire story of the decline of Karnataka politics. So it's not dignified. It's, if at all it is anything, it is like mafioso style now, where you don't even know who is hitting who where and when somebody is just falling flat. So you just don't know. The game is just begun. So let's, I think, wait and watch on that.
So, lastly, now we've seen what possibilities, what could possibly happen in the next few days. While there is the leadership issue of the CM itself, there is a very big, issue about whether D.K. Shivakumar should continue as the KPCC president. In fact, each time he raises the issue that he should replace Siddaramaiah, there's a ton of people going after him that the KPCC president itself should be, replaced, because it's time for that to happen. Now, is DK exposing himself to losing more than in the process of gaining, or trying to make a claim to the CM's chair, sir?
Yeah, he has been KPCC president for 5 years now, continuously. So, I think he'll happily give it up if he's made the chief minister. So he's only asking for a swap, right? And so will Siddaramaiah tell us how many times he has actually done party work? Will Siddaramaiah swap? Now Siddaramaiah should say, okay, if you're making him CM, make me party president. I think the Congress will be very happy to do that. But will Siddaramaiah want that? Siddaramaiah always, all through his career, has wanted only executive jobs. He has not done organizing at all, even in Janta Parivar. No, that's the complaint that Devegowda always had against him, or Ramkrishna Hegde had against him. Somebody, put up a shamyana, he would come and do a speech. But the actual hard work would be done by the others. So if it's a swap, the position of the KPCC president is not a small thing, because finally the letters are given by them. What goes to the governor, what becomes legitimate as a party position, all that is with him, right? So it's a question of a swap there. So I don't think they're willing to do that swap.
On this
Yeah.
note, I promise to return to discuss this very dignified leadership race. So we'll return very soon. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
joining
very
us.
much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir.